Name, Marengo. Origin, Egypt. Foaled, around 1793. Breed, Arab, likely pure or high percentage Arabian. Owner, Napoleon Bonaparte. Early life and origins. Marengo was named after Napoleon's famous victory at the Battle of Marengo in Italy in 1800, though the horse was likely acquired shortly after the French campaign in Egypt, 1798 to 1801. Marengo was imported to France from Egypt, reflecting Napoleon's admiration for the Arabian breed, known for endurance, loyalty, and courage. Marengo was not just a ceremonial mount. He served in numerous major battles alongside Napoleon and became a symbol of imperial prestige and the resilience of the French army. Battle of Marengo, 1800, gave the horse his name. A turning point battle against the Austrians in northern Italy. Battle of Austerlitz, 1805, one of Napoleon's greatest victories, defeating Russian and Austrian forces. Battle of Generauerstedt, 1806, another crushing defeat of Prussia. Battle of Wagram, 1809, against the Austrians again. Russian campaign, 1812, Marengo survived the disastrous retreat from Moscow. Battle of Leipzig, 1813, also known as the Battle of the Nations. Battle of Waterloo, 1815, Marengo was Napoleon's mount during this fateful and final defeat. Physical traits. Height, 14.1 hands, about 57 inches or 145 centimeters. Small for a warhorse, but typical of Arabians. Color, gray, often portrayed as white. Temperament, calm under fire, obedient, and extremely loyal. Stamina, capable of galloping 80 miles in 5 hours, which amazed European observers. Capture and retirement. After the defeat at Waterloo, Marengo was captured by the British and taken to England. He was bought by Lieutenant Colonel Angerstein of the Grenadier Guards. He spent his retirement in England, first at the Angerstein estate and later at Stud Farm in New Barn, near Ely. Though he was bred several times, he did not sire any notable offspring, possibly due to his old age. Death and legacy. Died, 1831 at the age of 38, a remarkable age for a horse. His skeleton was preserved and can still be seen at the National Army Museum in Chelsea, London. His hooves were made into a snuff box and other mementos, a common 19th century practice. Name, Bucephalus, Greek, Buephalos ox head. Foaled, around 355 BCE. Origin, Thessaly, ancient Greece. Owner, Alexander the Great. Breed, likely, Thessalian horse, possibly of Akal Teke or Scythian lineage. Early life and name origin. Bucephalus was purchased by King Philip II of Macedon, Alexander's father, for the then exorbitant price of 13 talents, a fortune in ancient currency. The horse was named Bucephalus, meaning ox head, either because of a broad, blunt head resembling that of an ox, or a branding mark or star-shaped blaze on his forehead. Taming by young Alexander. At the time of his purchase, Bucephalus was unmanageable and considered wild and dangerous by all the Macedonian handlers and generals. However, 12-year-old Alexander observed that Bucephalus was afraid of his own shadow. Using calmness and intelligence, he turned the horse toward the sun to eliminate the shadows in his vision, spoke softly, calmed him, mounted him without fear, and rode him successfully. This bold act amazed the court. King Philip II famously declared, "My boy, you must find a kingdom big enough for your ambitions. Macedonia is too small for you." This moment marked the beginning of the legendary bond between Alexander and Bucephalus. Military career. Bucephalus was Alexander's main warhorse for many years and fought in almost every major campaign of Alexander's conquests. Battles Bucephalus took part in. Battle of Cheronea, 338 BCE, likely his first battle with Alexander as a teenager. Granicus, 334 BCE, Alexander's first major victory in Asia Minor. Issus, 333 BCE, defeated Darius III of Persia. Gaugamela, 331 BCE, decisive battle that ended Persian dominance. Hydaspes River, 326 BCE, a grueling battle against King Porus of India. Bucephalus displayed not just physical strength but loyalty, intelligence, and courage, often charging directly into enemy lines and refusing to leave the battlefield even when wounded. Physical traits. Size. Large for the era, possibly 16 hands or more, very big by ancient standards. Color. Described as black or dark with a white star or mark on the forehead. Temperament. Fierce in battle but gentle with Alexander. Notable trait. Allegedly only allowed Alexander to ride him. Death and burial. Bucephalus died in 326 BCE, either from battle wounds sustained at the Battle of Hydaspes in India, or old age and exhaustion after years of campaigning. Alexander mourned his death deeply. As a tribute, he founded the city of Bucephala, or Bucephalia, near the battle site, modern-day Jhelum in Pakistan. Name: Copenhagen. Fold: 1808. Place of birth: Copenhagen, Denmark. Breed: thoroughbred Arabian cross. Some sources also suggest a bit of Spanish blood. Owner: Arthur Wellesley, Duke of Wellington. Originally bred for racing, Copenhagen had a brief and unsuccessful career on the racetrack. He was then sold to the military, where he began his service as a cavalry horse. Military service and rise to fame. Copenhagen served in the Peninsular War, 1808–1814, where the Duke of Wellington noticed the horse's endurance, composure, and strength in battle. Impressed, Wellington adopted Copenhagen as his personal mount. Battle of Waterloo, 1815, Copenhagen became legendary for carrying Wellington for the entire day-long battle without rest, over 17 hours. Despite cannon fire, chaos, and long hours of marching and fighting, the horse remained steady and reliable. After the battle, Wellington dismounted and patted Copenhagen on the flank, causing the horse to kick out in frustration, a famous anecdote often repeated in military circles. Retirement and death. After his military career, Copenhagen was retired to Stratfield Say House, the Duke of Wellington's estate in Hampshire, England. He lived comfortably, treated as a hero and companion, and became a public favorite. Died, 1836, at the age of 28. Burial. He was buried with full military honors near the estate, and a granite memorial marks the grave, inscribed in tribute to his service. Name: Traveler. Fold: 1857. Birthplace: Greenbrier County, Virginia, now West Virginia, USA. Breed: American Saddlebred, with Gray Tennessee Walker influence. Owner: General Robert E. Lee. Early life and original name. Traveler was originally named Jeff Davis, after the Confederate President Jefferson Davis. He was bred by Major Thomas Brown, who described him as a colt of great beauty, courage, and power. The young horse had a light iron gray coat, black mane and tail, and was known for his graceful movement, strong build, and high spirit. Acquisition by General Lee. In 1861, while Lee was serving in Western Virginia, he saw the young gray horse and was immediately struck by his appearance and movement. He purchased him for $200 in gold and renamed him Traveler, with two L's, using the British spelling. From that point on, Traveler became Lee's primary mount for the remainder of the American Civil War. Military service. Traveler was present at almost every major battle where Lee commanded the Confederate Army. He carried Lee through some of the most intense campaigns and became a symbol of the Southern cause. Notable campaigns: 7 Days Battles, 1862, Battle of Antietam, 1862, Battle of Fredericksburg, 1862, Battle of Chancellorsville, 1863, Battle of Gettysburg, 1863, Battle of the Wilderness, 1864, Siege of Petersburg, 1864–65, Surrender at Appomattox Courthouse, 1865. Traveler stood nearby as Lee surrendered to General Ulysses S. Grant. Traveler was known for his fearlessness, even under fire, and for his strength and endurance, often traveling 30 to 40 miles per day. Post-war life. After the Civil War, Traveler remained with General Lee during his post-war years at Washington College, now Washington and Lee University, in Lexington, Virginia, where Lee became president of the institution. Traveler was stabled nearby and often seen outside Lee's office, a living symbol of the South's lost war and Lee's continued dignity. Death and legacy. Died, June 1871, at age 14, from tetanus after stepping on a rusty nail. His skeleton was preserved and displayed for decades at Washington and Lee University. His gravesite is near Lee Chapel in Lexington, beside Lee's tomb. A sign at the stable where Traveler was kept reads, "Traveler's Stable." General Lee's horse. Traveler is buried outside the chapel near his master. Name: Chetak. Period: mid to late 1500s. Region: Mewar, Rajasthan, India. Rider: Maharana Pratap Singh of the Sisodia dynasty. Exceptional stamina and loyalty, high intelligence and agility, ability to navigate rugged terrain, a strong sense of loyalty to his master. Chetak was often described as fearless in battle, fiercely protective of Maharana Pratap, and almost human in devotion. Battle of Haldayati, 1576. Chetak's legend centers around this crucial and heroic battle, fought between Maharana Pratap's forces, Mewar Rajputs, Mughal Empire under Emperor Akbar, commanded by Man Singh I of Amber. Key moments: the Rajputs, vastly outnumbered, fought fiercely in the Haldayati Pass. Chetak carried Maharana Pratap through the thick of battle, even after being seriously wounded. In a bold moment, Chetak reared up on his hind legs and allowed Pratap to strike at Man Singh's elephant directly, a famous act of bravery. After being injured, Chetak managed to leap across a river, carrying the wounded Pratap to safety. Death and commemoration: Chetak died shortly after crossing the river, collapsing from his wounds. He had received a deep cut to his leg from a Mughal elephant's tusk, but refused to stop until his master was safe. Maharana Pratap wept over Chetak's body, reportedly treating him as a fallen warrior. A memorial, Chetak Samadhi, now stands at the site near Haldayati, honoring the horse's bravery. Chetak. Period: mid to late 1500s. Region: Mewar, Rajasthan, India. Rider: Maharana Pratap Singh of the Sisodia dynasty. Breed: likely a Marwari horse, known for its distinctive inward-turning ears and desert endurance. Exceptional stamina and loyalty, high intelligence and agility, ability to navigate rugged terrain, a strong sense of loyalty to his master. Chetak was often described as fearless in battle, fiercely protective of Maharana Pratap, and almost human in devotion. Battle of Haldayati, 1576. Chetak's legend centers around this crucial and heroic battle, fought between Maharana Pratap's forces, Mewar Rajputs, Mughal Empire under Emperor Akbar, commanded by Man Singh I of Amber. Key moments: the Rajputs, vastly outnumbered, fought fiercely in the Haldayati Pass. Chetak carried Maharana Pratap through the thick of battle, even after being seriously wounded. In a bold moment, Chetak reared up on his hind legs and allowed Pratap to strike at Man Singh's elephant directly, a famous act of bravery. After being injured, Chetak managed to leap across a river, carrying the wounded Pratap to safety. Coffin death and commemoration: Chetak died shortly after crossing the river, collapsing from his wounds. He had received a deep cut to his leg from a Mughal elephant's tusk, but refused to stop until his master was safe. Maharana Pratap wept over Chetak's body, reportedly treating him as a fallen warrior. A memorial, Chetak Samadhi, now stands at the site near Haldayati, honoring the horse's bravery. Name: Babiyeka. Period: 11th century, circa 1043 to 1099 CE. Rider: El Cid, Rodrigo Diaz de Vivar. Region: Kingdom of Castile, Spain. Breed: Andalusian or Iberian warhorse, strong, elegant, and agile. Origins and naming: Babiyeka's name reportedly comes from a humorous or ironic remark. According to legend, when El Cid's godfather gave him the horse, young Rodrigo chose a thin, awkward-looking colt. The godfather exclaimed, "Babiyeka," a word meaning fool or simpleton in Old Spanish. However, that colt grew into a magnificent warhorse, and the name Babiyeka stuck, a fitting symbol of humble beginnings rising to greatness. Service in battle: Babiyeka carried El Cid through many battles during the Reconquista, the centuries-long Christian campaign to reclaim Iberian territories from Muslim rule. He was known for incredible speed, exceptional stamina, loyalty and control in battle. Key military engagements: Battle of Cabra, 1079, a major victory where El Cid defeated Muslim forces. Siege and capture of Valencia, 1094, El Cid ruled Valencia until his death, and Babiyeka played a vital role in its conquest. Defense of Valencia, 1094 to 1099, Babiyeka stood alongside his master as they held off Almoravid forces. Posthumous legend: one of the most famous and romanticized stories involving Babiyeka comes after El Cid's death. In 1099, during a siege by the Moors, El Cid's followers strapped his corpse to Babiyeka and sent the horse charging out of the city gates. The enemy forces, seeing the supposedly invincible El Cid still leading the charge, panicked and fled. This legendary moment turned Babiyeka into a symbol of eternal loyalty and valor. Though this event is considered myth rather than fact, it has become a powerful tale in Spanish literature and folklore. Death and burial: Babiyeka is said to have lived to age 40, an extraordinary age for a horse, especially one involved in war. He was buried at the monastery of San Pedro de Cardena, near Burgos, Spain, the same monastery where El Cid and his wife Jimena were interred. Though his grave has been lost to time, the site is still a place of legend and pilgrimage.